Warning. The views in this program are based on the opinions of hosts and guests. We try to find common ground in very uncommon and sometimes uncomfortable topics. This show is not one-sided, not political. It's merely an avenue to come together to look at facts and use the experts in their fields of study. It's okay to disagree, so sit back, grab a beverage of your choice, and let's have a conversation.
You go home and cry to your granny. Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, you know? Oh, watch out for Keith.
Hi. I can hear myself now.
That's good.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, everybody, to Coffee Table Chronicles. It's Friday night,
I like the new backgrounds.
right?
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
they're different.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, damn.
I like it.
That is awesome.
Nice.
I think we actually used it last week, though.
No, they're both the same, I think.
Were they? Maybe because it's the camera angles are different. Because it is the same backdrop. It just where the way it splits off with the two cameras.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh, good job.
Feel like
It's a
we're in a
thumbs
coffee
up.
shop, right? I like it.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Only you're the only one drinking coffee.
We don't have to say that.
That was supposed to be our secret.
I have water. I'm sorry.
They don't know that.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't see what's in
Ignore what you just heard.
that. John's got water too.
I have water.
Right.
Right. We're going
Really?
with
You
that.
got water?
We're going with that.
I knew you had water.
He does actually have water today, I think.
That's unusual.
I know.
Usually it's a beer or something.
It's or something.
Okay.
Oh, alrighty then.
Hey.
So
Got the
going back to
shine.
y'all's trip. No,
So how was your week?
Mine was good. I was in Seattle for work.
Did you do anything fun?
Nope.
Did it rain the whole time?
Yep.
We got that weird storm thing today.
Yeah, that was weird, huh?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be all weekend.
Yeah.
It needs to stop. I have Halloween decorations out and I need to keep them safe.
I know that's bad.
It looks good, by the way.
I'm so excited.
It's getting there.
There's so much more I want to do.
Only about halfway through with
Yeah.
everything.
I haven't even started decorating inside yet.
Well, what you waiting for?
Work is terrible.
That work thing always gets. in the
Gosh,
way.
know,
always
it
gets in the
does.
way.
Yeah. Can we stop doing it?
For real.
Is it possible?
If we can get enough subscribers, then maybe.
That's true. That's true. We are getting a lot more though.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of Jake Taylor and Alex are on. Hi guys.
Hey guys, thanks for joining
Oh,
us.
I hope y'all are feeling better. Hope the Rona hooker has left your house.
Yeah, they
She's
were,
visiting other friends of ours too.
Yeah, they got stuck with it.
I think she might just be the hooker of the year. Like the ex-girlfriend you don't want. Because what do? We hid from her all year. We didn't talk about her. Like we tried to keep her out of our lives and she just came and visited anyway.
Why would you give away the hooker of the year?
I don't know. I think she might make it.
So
I don't know. AOC is pretty good too. So, you know,
Yeah,
she'll
good,
do something
good
stupid.
segue into current events.
Oh,
Yes.
you're welcome.
And that wasn't even
So-
planned.
I know. That's good job.
So this week, Norway removes the pandemic label to COVID-19.
Ah,
Oh, really?
They say now it just compares to the flu.
Dun.
So we're behind the times is what you're saying.
Haven't we always been?
Well, true.
I mean, it's going to be one of those things, and I thought I wrote it down on my show notes here, but I apparently did not. So I guess it's going to be called just I heard this a couple times on the radio during the week. It's going to be called endemic. That's what I guess the flu is, an endemic.
Okay, yeah.
It's just always around till the end of time.
Yep. Interesting.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if any other countries follow that.
Right.
Or, and it'll take the World Health Organization to announce that.
Yeah,
Granted, they
acknowledge it.
said it was not a pandemic months and months ago. They said the pandemic phase had ended.
And that's just a numbers game, right? I mean, what classifies it as a pandemic is a certain amount of infected, I guess. Would it be how it covers the globe?
I'm not sure what the definition is.
I don't know. I don't know what makes it a pandemic.
Maybe
if it affects
It's a certain efficacy.
efficacy.
rate.
So it's like
Yeah.
if it affects so many people, it's an epidemic. And
Right.
that's when it was just like one little country and one little area. As soon as it spreads
When it-
over multiple areas, essentially is when it becomes a
Yeah,
pandemic.
when it starts leaving
That makes sense.
It's
geographic
area,
areas.
yeah.
So when it was in Wuhan, it was an epidemic.
Yes, because it was
Yes.
just that contained area. Even though it was that whole area, it was still just that contained area. So like if just the US got something,
So
it wouldn't go.
if they had just shut down international flights in and out of Wuhan way back when.
Hey,
Thanks, China.
now. Hey. Let's not get like
Tell
you
us how you
know.
really feel.
I like
So-
that, John. That was good.
it's not your turn yet. You didn't get your thingy.
It's not my okay.
You don't get to rant yet.
He's doing topics.
I'm
of the
doing
week.
topics.
I
I'm
know,
doing
but
current events.
there was an easy transition. I could feel it. I could feel it.
Did you hear the press secretary and her reaction? The 21st. So today's the 24th. So 3 days ago. she
Isn't that the
said-
redhead girl?
Yes, the
Isn't
redhead
she?
girl.
Doesn't she look like Peppermint Patty?
She does. She does.
Sorry.
So she said that illegal immigrants are not planning to stay long, so they do not need a COVID test.
I heard that.
What?
There's certain
Say-
amounts of just stupidity.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
The illegal migrants.
Right.
Technically, now they're calling them migrants.
Right.
The illegal migrants are not planning to stay long, so they don't need a COVID test. So
But I need a COVID test to fly or to get surgery
if you're a
or to.
European or somebody flying into the country elsewhere,
Yeah.
you need a vaccine.
Bro, I can't even go
or
to
you need a
Hawaii.
negative
And
COVID
that
test.
is
Right,
the US.
Right.
I'm not planning on staying
But if
long
you
there
walk
either.
across-
Yeah.
so the funny
Just a
thing
week.
is,
I'll be
Just a
out.
week. I can't afford more than a week.
so the funny thing is now the interesting aspect of that is the people that are standing in Mexico in line to legally get across the border
Right.
can't, but those that want to illegally cross the border can.
Right.
What is wrong with that story?
Has anything made sense?
There's a lot wrong with it.
So
I have no response.
That's funny. That's funny
Wendy
that she
likes your
said
monkey sock cup.
sock monkey,
that. Sock monkey.
sock monkey. Don't diss the sock monkey.
She likes it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's what I
missed that
said.
part.
Wendy
Oh,
likes
Wendy-
your
hey,
sock
Wendy, this
monkey.
is-
I
this
just
is-
couldn't say it. Make them all blah, 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 blah. Maybe because I just have water.
So, and then our,
Oh, she's already riled up. She's saying it's
she
bullshit.
is.
Damn.
Yeah.
oh, see, I'm not looking
She's
at the
spot
Don't
on.
look at the rant. Wendy's all riled up already, and
Oh,
it's only
man.
what 4 minutes, 9 minutes. Okay, Wendy.
So, the funny thing is, you can't walk. And they were one of the other things, so Mayorkas was on talking to Congress this week. And one of the things he brought up was the fact that the border is technically closed. And while several of the senators were sitting there and going, how is it closed? Have you looked at the TV?
Right.
Because he hasn't gone down there.
Have you looked at the border?
Yeah, no kidding.
And so, somebody brought up the fact that, all right, so technically I can get across the border easier, the closed border, than I can get into a New York coffee shop.
Pretty much.
That's
Pretty much.
What,
True and
what does
factual
that
statement.
what does that tell you?
It's
I mean,
asinine. It's asinine.
So everybody see that the president was talking to the UN this week.
No, that I did not see.
Mm-mm.
So
He was
apparently-
talking?
Tell us about it.
So apparently, well, the big takeaway from that is we are paying for everything. Yay,
Of course we
us.
are.
Yay, us.
Where'd you think it was
Define
coming from?
everything.
They want us to be the leader in, vaccine, not prevention, vaccine distribution around the world. They want
Right.
us to be the ones that lead the world in cleaning up everything, even
Of course they
though
do.
we find out that China apparently is polluting more than all the rest of industrialized countries combined.
We've known that.
Oh,
for
100%. We've
And
known that
they
for
are
years.
and they are not in any of these
No.
Paris Accords or any of that. So, while I'm all for, clean air, clean water, things like that, we have done such a great job over the years of making it better. And I actually saw, interestingly enough, yesterday, a really good couple of scientists that were on Newsmax, and they talked about the fact that we have done such a great job as far as reducing greenhouse gas emissions since the 70s,
Mhm.
but still it has not made a big impact on the earth as far as the ozone layer and things of that nature.
Because it's not coming from us.
It's not coming from us. Well, the thing is, they say that actually it is just part of the world.
The world's deteriorating. Yeah.
nature is
that's what
doing its
happens.
thing. So nature is
Right.
doing its thing, and so they said there is nothing we could shut down the entire country today.
It's not going to make a difference.
It's not going to make a difference. We could go to zero, and it's not going to make a difference.
Right.
Nope.
So,
But people have been saying that for a long time, but we have to blame the U.S. for everything, right? I mean,
no, we have to
isn't
pay
that-
for everything.
Yeah, well, that's true, but part of that is blaming us for everything.
Right.
So we feel guilty, so we pay for it, right?
Right.
Isn't that how that works?
Well,
But do you ever this is so much imaginary money and so much imaginary stuff that's just being handed around. Is it ever actually coming out of somebody's pocket?
Coming out of our pocket.
well,
I mean, but is it ever actually we're
ours.
9 billion ridiculous amount number in debt already, and yet we're paying for more things? It's all imaginary numbers.
it's a number.
so
thing.
is that and,
Print up
and-
some more.
and that brings up a good point. If it is true, and it doesn't matter, like the certain a certain side of politics in Washington
Yeah.
wants us to believe, then why am I paying taxes?
right,
What does it matter?
right.
It's all imaginary anyway.
It's all imaginary anyhow. So why don't you just you're good to go. You don't have to pay taxes. We'll just print it up. and
Yeah.
distribute it.
It's all
Doesn't matter.
imaginary anyways.
Right.
So
There's
does
nothing. There's no substance behind it.
So Congress wants to pass a $3.5 trillion budget
Mhm.
infrastructure bill. Not even the budget, infrastructure bill. Does anybody know what the annual revenue is from the IRS? How much they actually bring in taxes?
You just read this.
I know I don't know what the annual revenue is, but I know what they feel like they're being shorted. We'll get to that later. But
Okay, we'll
I
get
don't
to that later.
I don't
but
know what the
just
I don't know.
but
what
just
the
to,
annual
I
revenue
actually
is.
wrote it down here. So in 2019, the revenue was 3.46 trillion.
Trillion.
Three and a half trillion.
That's
The
what they brought in.
The rough number is that we make as a country in taxes $3.5 trillion a year.
Okay.
And how much is this bill?
$3.5 trillion. So
So they want to double our taxes.
It was 3.46 trillion in 19. It was estimated that it's somewhere around 3.71 trillion for last year, and that it's estimated to be 3.86 trillion for 21.
And they feel like they're being shorted a good amount.
Well, but they
when people
spend.
say 8 trillion.
Well, actually, it's 6 and change.
Oh, there you go.
So there lies where we get the budget shortfall and why the debt clock keeps
Well, when you
running
spend $9
like
million
crazy.
for a toilet,
I'm sending you a
Expensive.
link. I hope you can pull it up on there later so we can pull it up on the screen. But it's,
Oh, okay.
it's
PDF.
part of that new bill that they're the fiscal year revenue proposal. So
And Dad says only 5% of the infrastructure bill actually goes to infrastructure, as it always does.
well, don't they call that pork that's in all the bills? They add all that
There
extra
is.
shit.
well,
that's
that
in there?
was what was it? Oh,
And actually, Dan, I think it's a little bit more than 5% because I know that
Probably.
the GOP and Dems, most of the Dems had come up with a 1 point something. I want to say it was like $1.6 trillion true infrastructure roads and bridges bill.
Mhm.
And
And then everybody has to
but-
throw in whatever they get out of it.
But the far left doesn't want that. They said, no, that doesn't go towards our social programs that we want to pay
Exactly.
for.
So they have to be able to pull that money out for them. Just like when, what was it? The very first COVID bill that went through to like the very, 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 very first one, bailed out the banks and the hospitals and the airlines. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That has
Right.
nothing to do with the Rona.
Right.
Why is it even in here? Oh, because everybody wanted to push that through on other things and they knew this one would pass.
Right.
That's why.
It would be nice that every bill that is
So it's all
proposed,
skeevy.
it's one subject
This
item
is what it's for.
each.
That's
each
it.
one.
Mhm.
That's it.
Not let me shove all these little things in behind it because it's only like $8 million. It's not even $1 trillion. So it doesn't matter.
Or why don't we get to vote on the bills that get passed?
Oh, that would be
That would be insane.
impossible.
That's why we have the.
That's what the
reps.
representatives are for.
Yeah.
But
They don't
back to-
represent us. That's the problem. They don't
well,
represent
therein
us.
lies. There's a couple of different things, and it goes back to something that I've been advocating for years. And I know there are certain people that keep going towards an Article 5 convention of the
Mhm.
states. So for those, real quick, just a 30-second brief on what that is. Literally, the framers, the founding fathers, incredibly smart dudes. I am always amazed at how forward-thinking
Advanced they were.
Mhm.
back in the 1700s on thinking through some of this
Yep.
stuff. They came up with a way that if Washington ever got out of control, like now, you don't go and talk to your representative in Washington. You don't go and talk to your senator in Washington. You go to the state. You contact your state rep, your state senator.
Right.
One of those congressional bodies from your state can call for a convention of the states. Currently, we're at 28 states out of 34, I think, that need to call it. So you need 2/3 of the states to be able to call a convention. They would call a convention, and then they line item amendments to add to the Constitution. You
Okay.
can't do everything in whole. It has to be line items. And there's certain things that everybody that is currently called for a convention wants: term limits, budget mandates, balanced budget.
Mhm.
There's other things like line item vetoes for the president, which I think would go a long way towards getting rid of some of this pork aspects.
Right.
I noticed that I thought it was an excellent move by some of the Democratic representatives this week when they pulled the funding for the Iron Dome in Israel out separately
Mhm.
from the other bill that they were looking at, and made them all vote individually on just funding the Iron Dome.
That's the way it should be. It should be one, like when you said, one individual thing. You want to do one thing, you do this. You want to do the next thing, you do the next thing. You don't lump it all together because who's going to read down 98 pages?
Because it was
They
interesting.
count on that. They
Exactly.
count on-
Exactly.
they're
That's
not
why
gonna
they
read it
throw
all.
it in at the end.
Because did
Right.
you see how your hooker of the week last week folded?
I know.
So, she voted. She was out there
Mhm.
advocating we
I know.
shouldn't give this money. And then they put it to an individual vote, and she went from a no vote, and she changed her vote to present, which means
Right.
I have no vote, and then was photographed, some say staged, that she was crying afterwards to the rest of the squad
Oh,
because
sad.
Poor
either,
thing.
yeah, poor thing.
Poor hooker. Hmm.
Either it was staged or, she had to apologize because,
I'm sure she had to.
she talks a big
apologize.
talk, but she can't walk the walk.
Right.
So,
Can't.
Which is most of the politicians these days.
especially when they have to put
unfortunately.
their name on an individual subject.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because when you're breaking it up into 1-to-1 like that, there's a lot more pressure.
It's great. It's great that the founding fathers put that, in there. But the problem is like I just said, a lot of the politicians we have today don't have the backbone to support what the people want. I mean, look what's happened here in Arizona. It's happened several times.
I think part of it is people don't understand how an Article 5 works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if they went and all they had to do, so we're in Arizona for those that don't know, if literally all you have to do is go and talk to your representative. I mean, let's look at it from this standpoint. It's today, 2021. I hate to admit that I actually restarted a Twitter account.
Ooh.
You
Why?
did?
Dad, you
I
ready?
know. Why? Just so that way I can sit there and I can reach out to my representative, and I can even go and I can go at Kristen Cinema AZ, or at Mark Kelly AZ, or at Representative Gosart or
Because
Representative.
they're not reading emails that are being sent anymore.
Well, I've sent emails.
Oh, I know you
and I
have.
get the
You get the assistance answer.
yeah, I
reply,
get the auto reply, and then I get a reply.
Where's their office? Downtown?
Yeah, most of them are
We
downtown.
should go visit.
And then I get a nice I sent one to Mark Kelly and Kristen Cinema a handful of months ago, and I get the nice here, let me tell you what we're doing to fix the state and blah blah blah. And it's like, this has nothing to do with what I emailed you.
Right. It's
Then I would
nothing
respond and say, this has nothing to do with what I emailed
And
you.
and when I was in Illinois, I used to email Dick Durbin, and I got into a tirade once. I know, hard to believe, where I actually was like, read the email. I kept repeating back, please give this to your boss. Read the email. I want a response from the senator, not from.
For a response to the email, not
Yes.
just some bullshit answer. Yeah.
So,
But are they reading their Twitter accounts too, though?
but see, the thing that
I'm
the
sure
thing
they
that made
have
me
someone
think about it
doing
was
that.
the
Yeah.
fact that now it's out there.
But now other
You
people
tag
see
them
it.
and
That
everybody else
email.
sees that.
That's
email
true, though,
is
because
only
that
between
email
you
gets thrown away.
That's
Right.
a good point. That's a good point.
That's
It
where
is.
I was, if you start a trending something on Twitter and you're calling out a certain representative or a certain senator or a governor or a mayor or whatever the case may be, others see that.
And they're almost forced to deal with it.
To
at that
respond,
point.
yeah.
At some point they'll have to,
Right.
if it gets big enough.
That's the same thing with all the nurses and the mandates. That's why they're doing all the walks, because people see it. You send an email or you do whatever, nobody sees it. It's not out in front of everybody else.
Right.
So I get that.
I had to go back to look and see what was being said about my sock monkey. I mean, my cup.
Okay. What's next? Is it going to be Wendy's?
Was that all your topics?
Yes.
For now.
Okay.
I have lots of them, but we don't want this to be,
No,
the news program.
I brought some headlines, but I think I'll save it for
The next one.
part 2.
Okay.
So
Okay.
some of it ties into what you said, so it's interesting.
So what should we do now? Should we do memes or should we do what are they called? Not episodes, segments. Shut up.
What? I didn't say nothing. I just laughed.
Shut up.
I want to see the memes of the week.
All right.
Okay.
So I do have them labeled. So it's the first one I got up here.
It's good stuff. There's my AOC girl. What is with those teeth on her? Like, you think she have got those filed down? Those are rough.
Oh man, I like that one.
Well, we've been saying, Beetlejuice.
Yeah. L'Oreal.
Forever.
Yeah.
Or Lightfoot.
But I think
Whew.
Biden with the deliverance kit is great.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's just awesome.
I don't know. I still like him as the ice cream dude.
That's funny too.
That's funny too.
That's funny too.
They have him as what's the guy from Jeff Dunham?
Oh yeah, Walter.
Walter. Yeah, they
Hey, I
compare
got a
him to
Walter.
too.
Yeah. That's great.
I got a Walter.
So let's see.
Do my meme go up
This
right
is your
there?
meme.
That was my life this week. So I was training and I'm like, okay, you're not really supposed to do this, but this is what we do.
I think we've all been there.
all been there.
Yep.
When OSHA is not around.
Yeah.
Right?
This
It's
is
okay,
what we do.
but-
Yeah. We're not supposed to do this. So this is how you're supposed to do it, but we don't do that here.
That's funny. We'll go
So that
down.
was my week this week.
Which one do you want, John, that you sent me?
Take the first one.
This one?
Sure.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
In some respects, it almost makes me want to go and get a food truck
Right.
just to park it,
Just to do it.
just to do it.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I'm supportive of that. We can make some food.
I like that. That's a good one. I want to save one for part 2, but I like this one. I'm going to show this one now. Maybe we could show it again, but I like this one.
Oh yeah.
I know. I am so disappointed in that.
Right?
Did it truly change though?
I haven't seen it change. I still see the old bottles.
I
Do you?
still see the old
See, now
bottles.
You're gonna make me pull up.
But
Uncle
is that
Ben's and-
because
Just
the
to appease-
Rona closed everything and they haven't been able to produce more, so they haven't been able to change it yet?
No, they were critical.
I don't know what that means. Like critical in
They
doing
were
it or critical
essential.
staffing?
Essential.
They're
Essential.
so
Oh,
they were
thank you. I was
essential.
like,
because it was little did we know, right? Lo and behold, last year Keith and I we found out we were essential.
you're essential? Oh, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
We
were
didn't
essential.
know.
We didn't
Yeah, I
know.
didn't get any days off. So
We actually got a
I didn't
piece
get
of paper.
essential pay. Oh, you got a paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got more masks to wear at work.
No, we got a piece of paper that said that outlined if things actually got like
Bad.
really bad.
Where you were being stopped on the street.
If things had gotten tyrannical.
Oh, do
then-
you remember that? Where they were like, you can't drive before 5 o'clock. And I was like,
Yeah.
I have to be to work. I leave before 5.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. We had curfews, didn't we?
We
I
had
remember that.
curfews.
Because
we
it was
couldn't-
only around at certain times of the day.
Yes. I'm like, because that Rona, she's,
It evolved because in California, after 10 o'clock, it's shit. That's when stuff
yeah,
gets
after
real.
10 o'clock,
Right?
man.
Yeah,
she
that's when
knows,
Rona
like,
goes.
she knows. Like,
She's a-
she's waiting on
You
the
might be
corner.
right. After 10 o'clock, she's a
told
she's a
you.
true hooker.
Seriously, like, you can't let her in between 10 and 5. Like, don't be outside. The Rona might get you.
Yeah, I know.
After
Yes.
10 o'clock, get in the house.
Yeah, now it's called Ben's Original, and there's nobody on it.
Instead of Aunt Jemima,
I gotta go check
No,
that one.
for Uncle,
Uncle
Ben's rice.
We were talking about Aunt Jemima.
I was talking about Aunt Jemima.
He got off topic.
But Uncle Ben's rice was on there too. I don't know. I haven't seen his picture either. See, I'm not protest them. Put a sticky note on him at the grocery store and said, "Don't buy this. It's racist." They took him off.
Do you have one for your segment tonight?
Oh, what?
A Darwin Award.
For your segment?
Do I have one for the? Yeah,
You do.
I do.
All right. You want to do yours?
Sure.
Do it. Let him see a commercial.
I like the commercial. It's fun.
It's
You did a
cute.
good
So
job.
this is one
I
of
like
our.
it.
We're gonna do a couple of new segments tonight.
Segments.
This is Wendy's Darwin Award.
So good.
You did a good job on that.
Thank you. It was fun. It was fun doing it.
He likes that crap
For people who don't know what the Darwin Award is,
because I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't know. How am I supposed to know what that is? I was like, what the heck?
So it's people who meet their demise doing dumb shit.
That's pretty much what Keith
That's
said.
probably the easiest way to put it.
that's a great explanation of it.
Good with that. Some of the things you're like, yep, you knew that was going to happen.
So the story I have tonight, it actually goes back to Chicago.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have a train system there. It's called the L.
Mhm.
So because it's elevated and it's a normal train track, except for there's an extra rail, and that extra rail is electrified because that's what runs the actual train. The
Okay.
train doesn't have like a locomotive.
Right.
So like ours are above in the sky downtown.
It's kind of the same
Yes,
premise.
same
we have
thing.
the cables
Okay,
up
we have the
top. but
cables
they
up
have
top.
the rail.
Okay.
So this is an extra rail, and it's called the third rail.
Okay.
So
I've heard of that.
you heard of
I've
that.
heard of that. I don't
Yeah.
have trains near me, but yes.
So it's the third rail is electrified, and it's usually about 5 times the amount of like a typical household appliance.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of,
Amperage wise or voltage wise?
I think, voltage. So the story is that I'm pulling up. It's an old one. It's going back to 2012.
Okay. Not that old.
A little bit, but so the story is about Zachary, who is a former Marine and an Indiana resident who was about to graduate college and happened to be downtown enjoying the city with a couple of friends. And the story goes that he went to, he was at one of the stations and decided to go down because it's an elevated track.
Mhm.
So they're on a platform. He goes down from the platform down by the tracks
Okay.
to relieve himself on the third rail.
Not good.
Fell over, fell onto the, so if that didn't kill him by falling onto the rail, probably
That
That
did.
killed
did
him.
him in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing like dying with your Peter hanging out.
Yeah.
You want to know what's sad? I've seen pictures of that.
What?
So being from New
What?
York,
Dying with your Peter out?
from being from New York, we have the same thing. We have the subway trains and they
Okay.
have the third rail.
Uh-huh.
So every year our local police department would come in and do safety talks with us. They actually brought pictures in of a guy who got fried on the third rail by taking a leak on the third rail.
Oh, wow.
And they showed us pictures. And
So essentially, the power goes up your pee stream,
well, because it's
shocks
water,
you
it's
through
liquid.
your penis.
Yeah.
You have a heart attack probably, and then and on the third rail, and then you just catch on fire.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then you look
It
like
actually
a,
just distributes it disrupts all the electrical signals in your body.
Well, yeah, but then once you land on the third rail, it's gonna get hot, and you're gonna catch on fire. Oh,
You
that's
just-
awesome.
my dad.
Our healthcare professional folks.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, just imagine when I cook brats on the grill. That's
That's
what it looks like.
Smells way worse,
That's
though.
all we needed was
I'm Smells
a
way
visual.
worse.
Right? I had to give you a visual.
The mental.
My dad's probably got stories because he was a cop in the subways, so he's
Oh.
got lots of stories
I
about
bet.
what happens out there. That's a good one. I like that one.
They say
back
that,
some memories.
Dad says he believes it is DC current on the third rail, just like New York subway systems. I
Okay.
don't know what that means.
Yes, it is. It's 600 volts DC.
DC, but it's the amperage that kills you, though, right? I mean,
Well,
essentially.
it is, but the amperage.
Any
you know,
power going through your body is going to disrupt
you know,
the signals.
Do
and-
Ohm's law. You figure 600 volts with
That's a
your
lot of
body
voltage.
having very little ohms to ground.
Right.
It's going to be high amperage.
Yeah. Good stuff. Don't
So
pee,
that's my story.
don't pee on the third rail.
Don't
Die
pee on
with
the
your
third
That-
rail.
died
that
with your
should be-
Peter hanging out. Don't
mean,
get
that-
stuck dying with your Peter hanging out.
That's right.
That should be our. We should come
Mantra?
up with. We should put something in the comments that says, motto of the week.
Or-
Don't
or-
pee on the third
Our
rail.
ending piece of advice for the end of the
Ending
night or
piece- there
something.
you go.
There you
I
go.
like
Not even that. I would say just don't die with your Peter hanging out.
Hey, it could be my
just in
disclaimer. I can
general.
make it my disclaimer at the end
There
of
you
the
go.
night, right?
That should be
Don't
Boris's
be on the third.
disclaimer.
Wow.
There's actually people here in Arizona because you have all the cattle fences and they have the electrified cattle fences. I've heard stories of that.
Oh,
here,
yeah,
too.
people are that
where people
stupid.
get-
Yeah, that
But then
happens
you
everywhere.
have people like me who get friends like I have, and hey, go touch that. 'Cause
Or you
I'm-
make a
I
chain.
hear you.
I'm that
I
person.
double
Have you
dog
ever
dare
done the chain?
I was just gonna say you do the chain. The last
chain?
person's the one that gets nailed.
You
on the
didn't know
chain.
that?
Yeah.
No,
So you
no,
get,
we just run around
you
and
get-
like
you get 4, 5, 6, doesn't matter how many drunk friends,
All
Okay.
hold hands.
all hold hands. All right, you guys ready? And the one person that grabs
because it goes through you.
it goes through, but
It ends
the
at the
last
end because
person
you get
is
the
the one
link.
that gets the zap.
That's funny.
But you got to let go just as fast because that person will let go,
And then it'll think, think, think. Yeah.
yes,
So you hold on and let
domino,
go.
yeah, it has a domino effect real quick.
Hey, if you're the first one, you got enough people behind you. You're good.
Man. All the drunk stories you could have.
You want to know the sad thing is we never did this drunk. We were in high school.
You were stone cold sober, huh?
I don't know if I'd say all that, but we were not drinking.
Any cow tipping in your past?
Maybe up at Horseshoe Lake. There's cows over there by the dam. No, our fun thing was to hit each other with the lights, the long tube lights.
Oh,
We'd whack each other with those and watch the puff smoke go out.
Yeah, it's
And then we'd shock each other with not the cradle prod ones, just the tasers.
well,
Good
play
times.
with those light
You were a
bulbs.
fun bunch.
Isn't
weren't you?
dangerous.
We were.
I wonder why they're eating fucking Tide Pods. Anyway,
Oh.
really? See, exactly. That's my point. So getting back
Shut
to the
up,
point,
at least we're not old.
getting back to a point you made earlier, that many people don't know, about the Constitution and things that are in it, is because the schools don't teach it anymore.
Mm-mm.
There's no Constitution test that you have to pass to graduate.
No, we didn't.
No more.
What?
It used to be that way in
Oh, I know.
Illinois. You had to
Because
have a
they-
Constitution test.
Like, we talked about it, but we didn't go into it. I mean, I'm sure we had a little test just to test this.
Yeah, it was at least in our curriculums, it was a separate test. It wasn't part of a class. I mean,
Yeah.
you took Constitution as part of your social studies class, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be part
But
of
it
your
was a
history class.
separate requirement on top of all your
Mm-mm.
other things.
No more.
We didn't have
That
it.
is sad.
That's
It's
sad.
very sad, and that's why people don't. That's why they're growing up stupid. They don't know. They don't know these.
Well, we learned
things.
about the first and second, and that's it. I'm sure we learned more, but I don't remember.
But the funny thing is, when you take the test to become a citizen,
oh, dude,
have
it's
to know it.
crazy.
you have to know it.
Right.
Yeah,
you
you
have
have
to
to
be
know
able to answer those
Oh,
questions.
it's intense.
Right.
So one of my friends was taking it. His dad was taking it, and the book. I was like, I don't know any of this, because he was like, "Oh, can you guys help me study?" And so we're like, "Sure, we'll help you study." I knew none of it. Nothing. It's insane.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of want to go get it just to study to learn about it.
But it's sad that it said our own citizens don't have to.
We don't know have any
Right.
clue about that. Just
I mean,
because we
it's-
were born on the right side of the tracks.
and it's a shame because it really is not that long. So
No.
I have Wendy sees it, and
Mhm.
ironically, I put my daily carry sits right on top of it as just a little symbolism. But it is a small book, probably about that big. It is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the something else. Declaration of Independence.
Oh, Declaration. That's
Mm.
right. Yeah.
All three in a small book, and it's it's not
Yeah.
it's relatively thin as far as books go. The Constitution is actually, for those that haven't done it in a long time, it's a decent thing to sit there and just pull it up and just read a couple things, because it's, I would hope, enlightening, because some people forget, oh, that's right, the government doesn't have that right. The government can't do that.
Right.
A lot of people forget that the government works for us. We don't work for the
Right.
government.
Right.
So
Just
do you
like
think,
school systems.
So do you think maybe the omission of teaching it was done on purpose?
There is a good
Mm.
possibility.
Just
I
like the
believe-
People
omission,
don't
just
I
like
believe
the
know any better.
omission of teaching about the Holocaust.
Right.
It's not
But-
taught anymore.
But my dad will argue the fact that schools, the education system has been changing to more of a liberal view, I guess you would say, years ago. I mean, before I went to school, he
Yeah.
said that's when it started changing back then. So I tend to agree with what your assumption there is, that they started this process to dumb us down, I guess. If you
Boil the
would.
water
I
with the
mean,
frog in it. He doesn't know what's
well,
happening.
And you tend to wonder, you ask yourself the question is, if we were teaching this stuff on a consistent basis and it was a requirement to graduate high school, do you think we'd be in a different position today? Or do you think
Huge.
people would still depend?
Hard
a
to
lot more
say,
on the
but you would
government?
think so. I mean, I don't think knowing the Constitution as a high school senior and then going to college and or watching the same spin on nightly news would necessarily protect you, but you would hope.
But at least you had some base knowledge.
Right.
I bet you there's
and it
that
might-
many people that don't even know what's the Constitution, what's the Bill of
Oh,
Rights.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure they've heard of it, but that's where it ends.
Well,
they don't know
um,
what it is.
Right.
Turning Point actually was showing earlier this week that they were doing some tests. They were asking college students, should the Constitution be thrown out and rewritten? And a lot of them are like, oh yeah, it was written way too long ago. It has nothing to do
Because they
with-
have no clue what it is.
they have no clue what it is. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with modern times versus the 1700s. It
No.
has to do with rights. The rights
But
are always the same.
That's how they're going to
Mhm.
pass it. That's how they're going to get them to sign off on it. That's
Well,
how they're going
that's
to vote
again-
it into it.
In Jen
Mhm.
Psaki terms, we should circle back. to
Sorry.
we need a convention of states.
Mm-hmm.
We need to put term limits in place. We need
Yep.
to. There was another thing that I was listening to, something technically about convention of states. Did you know that one of the things that also should be happening is the repeal of the 17th Amendment? Now, everybody's sitting there and going, what's the 17th Amendment?
I don't remember the 17th.
The 17th Amendment put in place in the, I want to say it's either the late 1700s or early 1800s, made it so that you voted your senator in place just like you do your representative. Before that, the Constitution, the senators were put in place by the state representatives.
Okay.
And so if the state was unhappy with their senator, they could literally recall them. No special,
vote
Gavin,
or anything.
no Gavin Newsom type thing.
Right.
They could just say, nope, we're calling you back. You're no longer a state senator. We're going to send Wendy.
Yep.
And I think that is an outstanding idea. Having one who's voted and one who's appointed by the state legislature makes a lot of sense to me, because now they have to listen more to the state legislature, who is more, I feel, in touch with.
Well, yeah, because you're not,
the people.
you don't feel protected. You feel like you have to do your job.
Right.
I want to give a quick shout out too, for those of you who want to brush up on your constitutional knowledge. Hillsdale College is another school that offers free courses online. You've taken classes there, have you?
Yeah.
I thought about it.
They've sent me the emails on the Constitution one that's free, zero, costs nothing.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that I need to add more to my plate, but I think I might.
No, but for anybody wanting to brush up on it, I think that's a great opportunity to do so. So
that sounds pretty good.
Sorry, just
we're gonna have to talk offline about that. I like that.
Yeah.
Not that I need to have more.
I tend to listen. They're always putting out reporting, Hillsdale College, and I tend to listen to what they say because I trust what they say.
Yes. So yes.
Interesting.
But I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that they've taken it out of the curriculum, or at least the fact that you're not required to know it to pass. I
would agree. Yeah.
Even in college, I mean,
it's important. At least they have a base knowledge. And
yeah, we didn't have any, like, I'm sure we did it in social studies, but it wasn't like that, like where it was a separate.
I mean, you think about it. I know we focus a lot on science and math, and math is incredibly important. I get it. But unless you're going to become an architect or something in that line of work, what the hell do you need trigonometry for?
Oh yeah, you don't need to go.
What do you need the extensive algebra that you need to take? I can't tell you the last time I've had to do. Again, but
then you specialize in that. You don't need that for high school.
If you're not going to, if somebody's going to be a doctor or a painter,
we need all that crap.
You know what I mean? There's things you don't need. Why do we focus on the things that you're going to need? That's going to shape you as a moral person, like.
Well, just as a person, and then if you're going to do something other than that.
Pythagorean's theorem.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yes.
Pythagorean theorem. I was like, what? I thought you were going down like the polygamy trail. I was like, okay.
All right. So it is time for our funny story of the week.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Because Jade was commenting on the Rumble rants that it's this is going to the apes. So this brings up a good story.
What's going to the apes?
The show is damn already in the
timeline. September 24th, 2021.
That's like today.
This is happening
right now.
Like it happened like yesterday.
Oh damn.
So I'm the 24th is I'm not going to give the headline because unfortunately I'm one of those that I feel that as a society, we read too many headlines and not read the story. So I want to read the story and not the headline.
Okay.
So
can you read the headline afterwards so we can see how funny it is?
So it starts off with a quote from an eyewitness. It said, "My wife had to stay outside of the exhibit with my sleeping son, so I wanted to capture a lot of video." So the photographer explained, then the magic happened. So this is a family that's at a zoo. So it goes on to say, tongues are wagging on social media over a video taken in New York's Bronx Zoo. Shows one gorilla performing oral sex on another. There's a video. If you want to go and look at it, it is hysterical. They do it 3 feet from the window.
Then you get to explain that to your kid, huh?
There are parents grabbing children and turning away. This is hysterical because the one guy keeps going, "Oh no, oh no, oh no."
Get it?
Oh, that's great.
Could I say something 100% inappropriate?
The headline is Bronx Zoo visitors go bananas watching gorilla engage in oral sex.
That's pretty accurate.
That's
I would
great.
imagine.
That's hilarious.
Go look it up. It is a hysterical, probably about, looks like it's a 44-second video.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
As your wife's outside with your sleeping kid going, did you get any video of us from the zoo?
Oh,
And you go,
yeah. Only the kids can't watch it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Great story. That's funny as hell. I'm crying. I was laughing so hard. That's great.
Oh
I
my
could just
goodness.
picture that, man. That's funny. And I know
Oh, you don't
it's
have to
too.
picture it.
He can show
I
you.
know,
No, we're
yeah.
good. We're
I'm
good. We're good.
I've been-
We believe you.
I've been at the Bronx Zoo, and that'll create some nightmares for me. So we don't need to go there.
Aren't hookers in the Bronx?
Little monkey
Apparently in
business.
the
We're talking
zoo,
about the zoo.
Apparently in the zoo too.
No monkey business here. Anyway,
Apparently there was lots there.
you were going to say something inappropriate. You said?
No, but I don't need to say it.
Okay, good.
It was extremely inappropriate.
Now we are waiting.
There's children watching. I can't do it. Taylor will yell at me.
There's children watching?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Children, Taylor's watching.
Now you tell me this after I tell the story about the visitors going
That's fine.
bananas.
After it flips people off on the screen, you know.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally good.
Might as well just call me Mr. Inappropriate.
I don't have my disclaimer. Sorry. I did my warning at the beginning. That's all. That's what counts.
I think you're covered.
It wasn't a content. It wasn't a content warning. No, that's the only bad thing. So
Okay, I have to say this is funny. Oh, I love Wendy and her sister. So her sister writes, not something you want to see, but I'm glad Facebook rules weren't broken. That video is still out and going. And Wendy goes, yep, that's okay, but you can't call anybody a greasy Mexican.
right? Jeez. Wendy's out of Facebook jail now, isn't she?
I think, I don't know.
She was
Wendy-
until right now.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Right back in.
All the buzzers are
Bang.
going off at
Zing,
headquarters.
zing,
Like,
zing,
damn
zing.
it, Wendy.
Wendy.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, we should probably get to our topic tonight,
All right.
since it's going to the apes.
There we go.
Was that the comment? It was
Little,
going to the
little
apes.
monkey business.
Little monkey business. So I wanted to talk about
Wendy's got 2 days left.
2 days left. Okay.
2 days left.
Oh, just
In time for us to leave.
Right. Exactly. Well, she'll get
And
in
be
trouble.
around the boys, and then she'll put
She'll
you
get in
back
trouble in
jail.
New Mexico and go right back into jail again. So that's
Yep.
going to happen. So we're talking today about one world currency.
Mm.
And I think it ties in a lot of what we've been talking about tonight with not understanding how the government works and not understanding what our rights are and what the rights are of the government, what they can and can't do. I specifically want to talk about the new bill they're trying to pass. It's not passed yet, but
Do we get to vote on that?
no, we don't get to vote on
No,
it.
of course not.
And I sent you a copy of it, John.
PDF.
It's called the General Explanations of the Administration's Fiscal Year 2022 Revenue Proposals. And if you
Sounds pretty good, right? Doesn't sound like
and if you jump all the way to page 88,
not
not
PDF
PDF
page
88, but
88.
actual page 88. It talks about probably one of the most disturbing parts of the bill, and a lot of people probably heard about it already.
Where did you send it?
To your text message. Do you get text
Oh.
messages on there?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I leave it off.
Okay. Yeah, that's where because I didn't.
Do you want me to read it?
I didn't have your email, but I want to put it up so
You
people
do?
can.
I emailed you stuff before.
You email me stuff or message me stuff?
I emailed you
Did you?
stuff.
Okay. You want me to email it to you?
Yes, please.
Let me see if I can do that.
While you do that, can we talk about Hooker of the Week?
This is 114 pages. What do you want me to read?
It's
I want you
it's
to go to page 88.
to a specific page. You're going to
Yeah.
go to page, but actual page 88 on. But you have to pull it up in your tablet so you can plug it in. He's not even plugged in.
I'm not even plugged in.
Oh. I was going to have you put it up so people can see it. All right. I just emailed it to you.
Not even plugged in. He's not even ready.
You want to do your hooker of the week
Let's
while we
do-
get that ready?
Yes.
All right. We'll do your Lindsay's hooker of the week.
I still like how it shimmies and shakes.
I know.
All right.
Makes me happy. Up. Okay, first, yep, that one. So let's just say if that my job does that to me, y'all ain't paying me enough.
That was really
Yeah.
That was her when she in 2010 when that was her like vote for me picture.
get out.
Swear to God.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
10 years.
Wow.
10 years you turn into Beetlejuice. Look at she even got the shoes for it. Like that's terrifying. You can't pay me enough.
How do you let yourself go like that?
That's just
And
crazy.
There's so
you
many
can't
other
even
things
blame
I
it
can't
on the
even-
pandemic, and you couldn't get into a hairdresser,
Right? Like boo boo, shave that off and put on a wig. Like, come on now. Come on.
That's
like-
crazy.
What is that?
That's insane.
I'll tell you why I think that happened, but that's an off show topic.
Oh,
Okay.
We're not gonna get kicked off YouTube today.
Because we do,
That's right. We're on YouTube.
and we did have some. There was number one. up
Was there
so we did
one?
have somebody on
Oh,
there. It's
somebody of them
probably-
they were like, no.
It's probably Christine.
Probably Christine, but
So.
she would have stuck with us. She's good.
What
'Kay.
what am I looking for?
Page 89.
89.
So- To go to the story. So I know everybody remembers that Mrs. Lightfoot, I can't even say it and not be disgusted, proposed to defund the police. And we're going to put social workers out there because social workers are going to help you. Anybody who's ever dealt with a social worker knows that they are already overworked to begin with. There is no way they're going to be able to do anything. So as your husband or wife is beating the hell out of you, I'm sure they're going to be there to help. So she defund the police everywhere. We're going to defund the police. So it's amazing how now, since it's not pulling to her political play game, she is now changing
Retracting.
her mind and going for the police. So, Mayor Lightfoot's proposal to refund the police is a political stunt to help her chances at re-election. The U-turn from her 2020 proposal that slashed $59 million from the Chicago PD budget and 600 vacant positions from the department has now changed. She has denounced defund the police, but last month she revealed her plans to refund the police following the murder of Chicago PD officer Ella French. It's a little too late and pointed this guy who did the thing pointed out that the Chicago's police union issued a vote of no confidence in the mayor. Chicago has seen an influx in violent crimes throughout 2021, and many have said they don't have faith in Lightfoot to stem the tide. More Chicago children have now been shot in Chicago this year than the number of kids who have died from COVID-19 during the pandemic throughout the world.
Throughout the world?
That's what it says.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know
Yes.
if it's right,
That's,
but
No, that actually that is
Probably
being
is true.
yeah, that is being thrown around an awful lot. I heard that
Yeah.
actually when I was listening to the radio.
COVID
in
doesn't really
Seattle.
attack children anyway, so that's super weird to begin with, unless you get that 15-year-old that's in great health. You know,
but I
but
mean, it is just the fact that
disgusting that
chil-
that's a
children
real
are getting-
number
children are getting shot
in
and-
Chicago. Like it's
and everybody-
nothing.
I think
Yeah.
everybody had a chance to see that video of the two little girls that were walking down the street and the two gangbangers.
That just walked up and shot him.
Well, one was running. They both were
Oh,
running.
mowed him over.
And one he's looking behind him, runs directly into the girls. And the girls are like, 8 and 10 or something like
Yeah.
that. Runs into them. All three of them fall over. The guy chasing them with the gun is shooting right over the girls, trying to shoot at this guy
This other guy. Eh.
within point blank range. And the
Mhm.
girls are they're desperately trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy.
And-
it's a
and
crazy
that
video.
just
video.
kinda
I haven't
says-
seen the video. I think I'd be
You haven't seen
disgusted.
this
No, I
video?
think
Yeah.
I'd be
I haven't seen
disgusted
it
by
either.
If, yeah.
It would make you very angry.
I'm sure it would. It would piss me off. Yeah.
So when can we let children carry guns?
I mean, where have we really lost ourselves that we put no value on human life? It's
And
sickening.
where is their mama?
just
Because you
sickening.
know damn well, even if we was gangbangers, if we did that and your mama saw that video, she would beat the hell out of you. Beat the hell out of you, drag you. There's no way.
There's a
Like-
whole theory in Chicago as to why it's gotten this bad. It goes back to the Daley administration closing a bunch of social services,
Mm-hmm.
which when these
Parents were yep.
gangbangers were younger, and now they have nowhere to go, and so now they've turned to gangs while
Because they
mom is
take
out
care of
working.
them.
While mom is out working 2 and 3 jobs, or the parents are out
Yep.
working 2 and 3 jobs, and so these kids have turned to the gangs because it's the only one, that
Who's there?
protects them, gives them a job, something to do,
Mhm.
all that kind of good stuff.
Yep.
So it goes back to failed administration policies from probably almost a decade ago.
Right.
But isn't part of it too just the mentality within the community, where I don't want to say they feel protected, but that's where they feel the most comfortable too.
Well, it goes back to similar to what I said. I mean, these become family. The
Yeah,
gangs
right.
become almost family.
Right.
And I saw something not too long ago, and I wish I could remember where it was. Something about some of the gangs. You and I were watching something not too long ago.
It was the book Freakonomics.
That's what it
Love
was.
that book.
So,
So
we were
they-
listening to it in the car on the
Oh,
way going.
nice.
Yeah.
And that some of the more savvy gangs actually take care of the neighborhood.
They do.
Mhm.
They protect the neighborhood and the
protect
elderly and
neighborhood
stuff like that.
And,
They help
and I
clean
know
it
that
up.
for a
They
fact
help
because I've seen motorcycle gangs that do that.
do the
in
same thing.
Do the same thing.
Right.
And so I
Yep.
remember once a particular gang, and I'm not going to talk about who, but I know that there was no crime. It was a
Mhm.
very relatively safe neighborhood because there was nothing that happened in that
Nope.
neighborhood
Because you knew better.
that the motorcycle gang did not authorize.
Well, it's kind of like the mafia.
It is.
Yeah, it
in
is.
some
It
respects,
really,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
things were safe. You didn't get away with shit back then.
Nope.
That you said that about Chicago. It brought up a story that I was going to
Oh, I
bring
love
up,
that story.
which is really cool.
It's from a while ago. I love this story.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a while ago. I just
It was a long
I saw
time
it the other
ago.
day. And I was
But
really
your
impressed with it,
credibility
so.
on what you love when you all of a sudden we're talking brats and you're like, oh yeah.
I love brats.
So a teacher in an elementary school in South Carolina wanted to help little boys with no dad at home. So he started a gentleman's club where these little guys dress up, learn to shake
saw
hands,
that.
make eye contact. He even had extra jackets and ties for the boys who couldn't afford them.
I saw that.
made 'em
That's
get
an
dressed
awesome
up. They
story.
would
That's
go
that's an
eat,
incredible
they would-
story. I mean, if you think about, and I go back to Chicago because it's always brought up as a narrative that all these gangbangers, they typically come from fatherless homes,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Is that
That is the stereotype.
Right,
I don't know
right.
what the actual statistics are, but yes.
right? But I think people reaching out doing something like that just huge impact on these kids. I think
You would
in
hope
a
so.
positive way.
Yeah.
I mean, so I had to share that story because I saw that and it just I don't know made me feel good inside. So I just wanted to shed
Give you
some-
the warm and fuzzies.
Well, we talk about all this, violence and negative crap, and I just wanted to bring something positive to the table.
I think there's a lot. Oh, it's Dad. Hi, Dad. You are there alone. That was your one person that popped in and
Oh.
then left. Dad, you were there alone. We just seen it.
I didn't think we'd get anybody on your team anyway.
No, it's fine. We didn't really promote it on YouTube.
No.
We would have had Christine if we would have promoted it.
I did.
She-
I did
she
put the
is our,
link. I did put the link
Like
for it.
die hard.
I'm surprised she's not
YouTuber.
on Rumble right now.
Christine, I don't know if she knows how to use Rumble. I'm gonna have to reach out to her.
So anyway,
So I'm on page
88.
So is it page in the
Page,
Yeah,
page.
in the document?
Yeah.
Not
so I'm on
document
page,
PDF
88.
page.
I'm on page 88 of the document.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's see if I
not
can bring it up.
PDF, page. Okay. Go back. Yep. So current law. Business income is
Sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger.
it was fine the way it was. I don't know what you're doing. Okay.
There you go.
Business income is subject to limited information reporting. Current information reporting of gross receipts exist for only certain types of revenue. There is no information reporting on total deductible expenses for businesses. That is the current law. Reasons for change. The tax gap for business income outside of large corporations from the most recently published internal revenue estimates 166 billion a year. So they think they're losing 166 billion. The scales of this revenue loss is driven primarily by the lack of comprehensive information reporting and the resulting difficulty identifying noncompliance outside of an audit. While the net misreporting percentage is only 5% of income subject to subject information reporting, the net misreporting percentage for certain categories of business income exceeds 50%. Requiring comprehensive information reporting on the inflows and outflows of financial accounts will increase the visibility of gross receipts and deductible expenses to the IRS. Increased visibility of business income will enhance the effectiveness of IRS enforcement measures and encourage voluntary compliance. For businesses.
Now go to proposal.
Proposal, please, sir.
I didn't mean for you to read the whole thing. I was actually going to skip right to the proposal part, but that's okay.
Well, you got to tell them why they're mad to begin with. This proposal would create a comprehensive financial account information reporting regimen. Financial institutions would report data. So your bank.
That was regime, by the way.
Yes.
Not regimen. That was a regime.
Regime. That's two.
Very, very important word.
So is regimen.
Tomato.
There's bigger French words further down. So
Financial institutions would report data on financial accounts for an information return. The annual return will report gross inflows and outflows with a breakdown for physical cash, transactions with a foreign account, and transfers to and from another account with the same owner. This requirement would apply to all businesses and personal accounts from financial institutions, including bank, loan, and investment accounts, with the exception of accounts below a low de minimis gross flow threshold of $600 or fair market value of $600. So my account.
Get rid of
Okay. So my bank account, not a business, and I have two savings accounts. If I move money from my checking account to my savings account, they're going to know about it.
Correct.
Because I have more than $600 in my account.
Is the transaction over 600 though? I don't know if
it
was
says
very
your
clear.
bank account has
Balance.
to have more than $600 in it.
Okay.
The ones under $600, they're not reporting.
Now we hit on this a little bit last week, John, and I think you brought up something. Does the government have a right to look at your personal bank account?
Currently,
no. Currently, no, but that's
Right.
what they want. They
Right.
want
No, I know.
access into it. And they're using the Trojan horse of the 1% is getting away with murder.
Laundering money and blah,
Laundering
blah, blah.
money and things like that. But, they want to hire, and I'm trying to.
So that was my question is I was telling Keith, who's going to watch this?
Right.
So I was wrong. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing the math. So for those that don't know, at work, one of the many things that I do is actually business analysis. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing the math on the aspect of what was the number?
1.166.
So 166
billion, right?
Billion.
Which is not very much when you're looking at the 3 trillion, whatever.
It's 166 million.
Okay, so I got to add more zeros.
3 more zeros.
Okay, so maybe my math was wrong. So divided by how many IRS agents
Did
did
you
they
say
want
like
to add?
2,800 people or something?
No, it was 87,000 new
Holy
IRS agents.
Nike. 87,000?
So
To only watch $166 billion? But now they have to babysit everybody else.
That makes a bit difference because I had
you missed some
zeros in there. So originally I was going, all right, so you're hiring these guys and these folks and they're responsible for bringing in $19,000 and change. That doesn't even cover their salary.
Right.
So now they're actually responsible for bringing in 1.9 million each.
Right.
So you figure if they get paid $200,000 or whatever an IRS agent gets paid, probably not that much, I'm sure, $130,000, you do get a bang for your buck.
Yeah, but you're watching every single person. I will go move money every day just to fucking piss them off.
Well, and the thing is,
but you got Joe Blow's watching your account, or at least having access to the
my
information.
Account. So, not to speak of the vid, what if I'm not vaxxed? Our lovely fearless leader has already told us that if we're not vaxxed, we don't deserve to go grocery shopping or do anything. Now, if you have access to my account because you're the government and now I just gave you that access to my account, what if I'm not vaccinated? Do I have access to my account anymore?
How would you not?
Do you have control over that? Can you freeze that if you feel that something shady is going on?
Well, if
because you feel that.
If you owe the IRS money,
Really?
they can freeze your account. They can garnish your wages.
Yeah, they garnish your
Yeah,
wages.
right. The IRS
So-
has
That power.
sweeping powers.
But now they
Now they
It's just gonna
own
give
your
them
bank
more power.
accounts.
So this is something that I've thought of, and I literally have reached out to several representatives in Congress with this idea. I think they should take.
Oh, I like this idea.
I think they should take that and they should turn it on its ear. I looked it up, and I don't have the numbers here in front of me because I wasn't prepared to talk about it. But you look at what the budget is for the IRS, and it's enormous.
A lot.
It's enormous. And you look at, so everybody's heard of the GAO, so the General Accounting Office. That's the division of the government that watches where our money goes. Their budget is significantly smaller. Honestly, I think that the best thing that we could do as a government, the government should do, is they should just do a flat tax. This has been proposed multiple times. Those on the left do not like it. I don't know why they don't like it. I'm saying that, Dan, I'm sure is going to have some comments in here, but they don't like it. So what they should do is a flat tax across the board. Goes back to that document that you just had. The part that they can't check on is deductions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Minimize the amount of deductions, period.
Everybody pays the same.
Everybody pays
Done.
the same.
Yeah.
If you
You
want to
make
have
this much, you pay this much. You make this much, you pay this much. Done.
if you want to put a minimum threshold on there that if you're below the poverty
Yeah.
level or something like
Absolutely.
that, you pay nothing.
100%.
Okay, I'm perfectly
I'm fine with
that.
that.
Perfectly fine with that. But all businesses pay a certain same percentage. Every
Well, it should go into what you make, period.
Yeah,
like if
it's
you
a
make
simple-
between
it's no
30 and
different than,
40,
like, sales
you pay
tax.
1%. You pay this much for this much because the people that are making more, of course, should pay more. But then you have, you know what I mean? It's like health insurance. We were talking about that at work before. I said you have the housekeepers making $14 an hour, paying the same health insurance for her husband, and all the kids as the nurse who's making $80 an hour. That's not fair.
It's not fair.
That's
Right.
her whole paycheck.
Right.
So, I mean, because you look
So-
at me, like I was trying to go down to part-time, but I have to work 3 days because if not,
You lose your insurance.
they pay, like we have to pay more for insurance. So my whole paycheck is gone to insurance,
Yeah.
which is fine, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the other part of that, though, is that what we should do is we should flat tax. So that way auditing is a piece
Easy.
of cake.
Simple.
You
yeah.
made this much.
Submitting, auditing, all that is super easy. Take all those extra people out. So shrink the IRS down to
Mhm.
this size. Take all those extra people, put them in the GAO.
Yeah.
And now have the GAO turn on verifying
Ooh.
who's paying what, where, and start watching where our money goes, because they say that we lose, the federal government cannot account for enough money to pay the entire federal
Reserve.
no, what's the word I'm looking for? Payroll.
Oh yeah. Why do you think
What
we're
it-
in debt
what it
every day?
costs, taking out the Department of Defense, but all the civilian workers that are in the federal government,
Mhm.
they lose that same amount in payroll, or would pay payroll. They lose that every year. Just can't figure out where it goes.
Of course.
Lost.
Good comment there. Hey, Dot, welcome to the show. Thanks for jumping on YouTube with us. In the 1830s, the U.S. federal government fully funded itself with tariffs and paid off the national debt, so federal income taxes are unnecessary.
Taxes theft.
If only we could go back to that time.
Yep.
Real simple.
But I think there's a bigger picture with all this. And I know I
Dad says the government would not be able to manipulate the taxes coming in as easily if it was a flat tax. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
The problem arises when the U.S. borrowed the monetary supply from a private center. Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
That's what
Good
started
points.
it.
Mhm.
Good points.
Who is Dot Connector?
I don't know.
Welcome.
First time thing. Yeah, welcome to the show. I hate getting into conspiracy theories, but the bottom
What?
line is, why you like them? I really don't. I don't like conspiracy theories because I think half the time they're full of shit. But
and he also doesn't like the fact that he really wants to think that the world is that evil.
Well, that too. But
He's
everybody
still good in his heart.
keeps hearing about the Great Reset, and for years now, I've heard people say, "Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's never going to happen."
A bunch of hooey.
So I looked up the World Economic Forum, and it's an interesting website because one of the first things you see on the website is this guy here.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, who is he?
Klaus
Schwab. I've heard of him.
I know the name once you said it.
Well, it says
Pandemic
that he's
represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. Never let a good pandemic go to waste.
Yep.
Exactly. So we've heard now for a long time that they want to make us a cashless society.
Mm.
Right. And why would that be?
Because then they can track us easier.
Yep.
So isn't this bill a step in that direction?
100%.
There are
agree with that.
several people in Washington that want to that have already put together proposals to go and transfer to Bitcoin of some sort.
Mm-hmm. And I want to get into Bitcoin a little bit here because do you know
is
enough
a
about
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin?
I do not.
I read a little bit about it. I don't know a lot about it, but it's interesting. But I do want to bring this up. I hope we could read this.
All I know is if Elon Musk mentions Doji, then things go crazy.
Doji.
Is that like a mush ball or what's a doji?
So,
We'll talk later.
so if people want to know
Sounds dirty.
hold on. He's saying hi.
He said hi. Exactly.
Us too.
Would you
Yes,
not sit
that's
and
why we're
talk with
here.
your friends around beers? I mean, come on now. It's all the same.
That is why we're doing this show, because we want to get to
Yes.
the truth. We want to
Yep.
push away the conspiracies.
But the downside is that we could sit here and we could think about it all we want. We don't have the power to do anything about it.
No, but those people
The
do.
elite does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so I dug a little bit deeper into the World Economic Forum, and I wanted to know for myself, what is the Great Reset? Everybody talks about it. What is it? I've heard about it for about a year now. And I found this little chart, and I had to pull some of the facts out because it was hard to read on the chart because it's like a wheel. But I found it very interesting. So this is all part of the Great Reset. This is all on that wheel there. You can go on the World Economic Forum. I got the website there. You'll find it right on there.
Okay.
They had a big conference on this, and they actually had the video posted on their website of everybody sitting around talking about this. So if you look at some of the topics, I thought it was kind of interesting. There is a resounding theme in there if you start reading through these. So you have taxation, of course.
What is climate change?
It's climate change. Did it
No, it's not. It's climate change.
Did it not copy over right?
I see CLIATE.
Very bottom left.
It's climate change. It didn't change. It didn't copy over right. Sorry. Picky. So
It stood out at me.
So LGBTI inclusion, civic participation.
What is that? Is that what I think it is?
Volunteering?
Giving them rights, I would think, right? Including them.
But they have
Them-
rights.
They want more though, don't they?
They have
Don't
the same rights
everybody?
as you and I.
Right. They want special rights, special privileges.
Of course they do. So as everybody else does. Everybody wants special rights.
It's got human rights in there, which I agree with. Justice and law, yeah. Future of mobility.
In what aspect?
Forest, I don't know. It doesn't go into detail on that.
Hmm.
Circular economy. This is where you start seeing a resounding theme. Corporate governance. I'm sure they get batteries, plastics in the environment and there, of course. 3D printing, air pollution.
3D printing.
Future of food.
Mm.
Global risks. Geopolitics. Agile governance, which I
What
want to
is
look
that?
that up and see what that means. International security. Global health.
Climate change.
Climate change, geoeconomics, public finance, social protection, financial monetary systems, COVID-19,
Why is the Rona on there?
global governance. So governance
There's a lot of
comes a
governance.
lot.
Amen,
on here.
Wendy. when he goes, where's purging on that list?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm all for that.
Sustainable health, sustainable development, future of health and healthcare, banking and capital markets, the ocean, of course, internet governance,
Yep.
right? Digital identity and drones, AI and
Drones.
robotics, digital economy and new value creation.
Wendy, climate change is the, where the purge is.
Wow. I'm not going to live that down.
Nope.
Copied and pasted.
I'm sorry.
So,
I would
and
pay a
there is
lot of
some- and
money
again,
for
I
that
am-
ticket.
I am typically the anti,
Climate change.
yes, I am that
How'd you guess?
too. But I
knew you were like
I
that.
am usually the anti-conspiracy theorist. But on the other hand, it sits there and it boggles the mind when people start talking, all these different governments talk about defunding the police. And it's like, to what end? This is ridiculous. What are you thinking, when you got,
Because the police are a separate entity. They don't follow their directions.
So we can have the purge.
You defund the police, then they can have their government who protects you.
and that's where I heard this theory pop up a couple times, in the fact that, yes, you could actually have a national police force then,
Mhm.
if you disband all the local police departments. Now, I had said,
That
that
sounds fabulous.
if you wanted to have something that would be better, I like it at the county level.
yeah,
Mhm.
You
like
vote,
each county has sheriffs, 100%.
your sheriff is voted in. The sheriff is completely responsible to the voters. Nobody else.
Nope.
Not to the county government. Not to the state
To
government.
those
not-
people.
They apply, or they are responsible to the voters and the state constitution.
Yep.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, and obviously federal laws,
Yeah.
but I mean,
But
they
answer to the people in
answer
that
to the people,
area.
and that I like.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
where you get the most that stand up and say, I will not enforce unconstitutional
Yeah.
laws, is at the
Well,
sheriff level.
And then you get issues like the Chicago stuff. So if there's a sheriff running that county, running that area, they're now responsible. So you go to them and say, what the heck? Why is this happening? Instead of having to go through all these chains to get anything done.
Bad example, Chicago. Cook County is just as bad as Chicago.
But
Well,
if you
are you
start
saying
holding
it's a
them
shit show?
responsible,
Yeah.
it might
A
change.
shit show or shift show,
A shit show.
Have you seen the lady in charge of them?
right?
It ain't going to get no better.
So Dot says, Karen, I think it's Huds, is how you say her last name. Whistleblower against the World Bank has been discussing the financial reset for many years, and it's beneficial to humanity. She holds 2,000 trillion. Is that right? 2,000 trillion is
Yes.
Treaty of
Yeah.
Versailles bonds.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Of course she does. Just like, what's her name?
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Miss Drinker bought all the things before she did that one thing. I know you followed that
Nancy.
immensely.
No.
So this is going to bleed into next week's topic, but I wanted to kind of give a meaning of this too. And this is kind of a scary definition when I read it, to be honest with you. So world government, global government, or cosmocracy is the concept of a common political authority for all of humanity, giving way to a global government in a single state or polity with jurisdiction over the entire human world. What the fuck? Is that not just scary?
So-
It is
I mean,
because there
and-
are so many different beliefs. And I mean, you have those that, Sharia law and
Mhm.
Well, you can't run
How-
the U.S. the same way you run
Well,
Mexico
that's
or
what
the
Wendy's
same way
saying.
you
There's so
run
many,
Yeah,
so many different
Africa
cultures.
or Germany.
cultures.
It's so different. And even with everybody having the technology they have or don't have, it's not comparable.
Well, that's very true. I mean,
Yeah.
even just today, the Taliban made an announcement to the entire world saying, "Don't interfere." That's it.
Of course they did.
They said,
Now they have all their
"Don't
stuff."
interfere."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have more Blackhawks than most other governments in the world.
And we digress.
So that was a warning.
That was a warning.
That wasn't a statement. That was a
they,
warning.
They issued a warning. Yes, don't interfere. Which again goes back to exactly what Wendy said. What we're all thinking is the fact that, hence the reason why, and so ironically, the Muslim community probably stands in the way the most
Mhm.
as far as a one world government, because of the fact that they will never give that up. Versus you have way too many that are shunning Christianity,
Mhm.
Judaism, you
Any
know,
religion,
you know,
really.
you know, I don't know. And I will say, I talk in ignorance of where other countries are with like Hinduism and things of that nature. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But and probably the other one that stands in the way is probably going to be China, because I don't know what their philosophies are on religion and such. I know it has, you know, they have ancient religions that but
They
I
have
don't
a
know.
lot over there, actually, I think.
But that
They have
falls
Buddha.
into, you know, why bad mouthing religion, trying to get rid of religion is one of the things to do.
Mhm.
I actually was doing some research because I thought about this. And so does anybody know why Brexit happened? Why did the UK leave the European Union?
Mm-mm.
Because they felt like they were paying too much and they weren't being represented.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was the general population vote. They were surprised. All the politicians were completely surprised. I applaud whenever somebody talks about a politician. I applaud Tony Blair. I think that was his name, who was the PM at the time when the vote came down to leave the European Union. He said, "I appreciate that. I don't believe in it. I'm going to step down."
Really?
Nice.
I mean, you don't get a world leader that sits there and
Prime
says,
Minister,
"Well,
no.
I'm not up with what the people voted for, so I'm going to just step away."
Yeah. Yeah.
Let y'all run this monkey show.
Yeah,
So-
right.
No, here we just try to force you. Force you.
So
to
we are
agree.
running out of time here,
I know we
sir.
are. I know. The foundation of the control system is the maritime. Was it?
Immorality.
Admiralty.
Admiralty. Sorry, I cannot read from here, so I'm blind.
Law and banking system. In 1871, USA changed from the founding fathers' legal system to common law, where the people had all the authority.
I think we gotta have Dot on the show.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Quite a book of knowledge here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So that's a good segue into John's segment.
Oh, I have a segment?
John's PSA.
Yeah.
I got to pull up my stuff.
He's not ready.
Since we're running out of time.
We're
Since we're running out of time, and then we have to go to our next show,
Yes.
which won't be live next week
Nope.
because we will be out of town.
But we are recording it tonight.
But we are recording it tonight, so it will continue on. So there will be one. We just won't be able to respond to comments.
So my PSA today. And
Hold on. We got to do your introduction.
Oh, we got to do the introduction.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
I don't know who is so enthusiastic.
I
There's a lot of
love
screaming in
that.
there.
I love that.
Oh man.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
My PSA today is more of a question.
Okay.
And it's you know, kind of in line with the current topic. You know, are we being played? Because I sit here and I look at this and it says, you know, basically, if the government decided they wanted to stop all the shenanigans that are going on, all the crises that are happening, they could. If they wanted to. They could really, I mean, we could close everything down on the border. We could fix everything with Iraq. You know, we at least, you know, go get our shit, bomb it, whatever the case may be, you know, fix all these things. The energy crisis, we could fix that like tomorrow if we wanted to turn that back on and be able to fix that and bring down, because we did nothing as far as environmentally fix something. Now we're asking the Arab countries to send more oil.
Mhm.
Really? Okay. So what are we saving here? We're not saving the world.
Nope.
You know, we are a joke internationally
Mhm.
on multiple fronts. We can't seem to stop tripping over ourselves.
Can't seem to stop eating ice cream.
Can't seem to stop eating ice cream because, you know, not only was it, you know, Afghanistan, and then on top of it, we go and we you know, ruffle feathers with France over the submarine deal with Australia. And then on top of it, we go and we have this, you know, and the president stands up there on the world stage and says, we are going to stand behind our commitments to our international partners. And in the same token, back in Congress, they're saying, no, we're going to not fund that $1 billion for the Iron Dome. Strictly defensive, no offensive capabilities. And we're not going to fund that for the Israelis. Okay, so much for us standing behind our international partner. We are a joke. So, I mean, it just comes back to the fact of, are we being played?
Yep.
It's more of a you know,
We as in we the people, or we as in we as a country?
there's a difference.
Yes, we as in we the people, 100%.
Well, there's your answer right there.
We as in we the country, no, because they know exactly what they're doing.
That's interesting.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. They've been using propaganda forever, even before that.
I want to know where Dot got that cool
Picture
picture.
with the
That's what I
bunny.
was gonna say. It's really
It's
cool.
Boris's bunny.
Yeah.
That's the bunny. Oh, Dot, I don't know if you saw the video. I think Keith should play the video again before we leave.
I will. I'll play it before we go out.
Okay.
But it's a great question, and I think it really all revolves around one thing: money.
Is it money or is it control?
Both.
Yeah, I
Well,
was gonna
when
say,
you
I
have
was gonna
control,
say-
Same and
though,
different.
It-
yeah, but when you have control, you have the money.
Yes.
But
They
when
work
you have
hand
the
in
money,
hand.
you don't have the power. Nancy's got more money than she knows what to do with.
Oh, she'll drink
She's
it
in
away.
her
Don't worry.
80s. She does not want to give up. Now, granted, she said that she's not running next time. We'll see if that actually
Sure,
happens.
she is.
But on the other hand, I mean, her husband and her have,
She's married?
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's got her husband-
Seriously?
I mean, when you were talking, you know, the 1%, I think they actually technically fall into the 1%.
I'm sure they do. What does he do?
He's a philanthropist of some sort. I forget. I knew what it was.
Philanthropologist? Sure he is. She's drunk all the time.
But they want the power. They want the, you know, because money can't always buy power. Power can get you everything.
Mhm. Power can get you that money.
That's what Dot just said. The elite establish control and then profit from it. So
Mhm.
so you get the power first. and then the
That's
money
how you
comes.
get all those bills that you pass. Oh, well, I'll just sneak this little thing in at the end. Oh, that got me my first million. Oh, let me just sneak another little one
and
in the
then I
next one.
I will
Yeah.
conveniently have a book deal or somebody buy some
Mhm.
office
Yeah.
paintings.
Something
right?
happens. So
We're going to continue this conversation into the next episode. So, want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Dot, thanks for jumping on YouTube. Please go like, share, and subscribe on both Rumble and YouTube.
yes.
Yes.
And if you don't have a Rumble account, please sign up for a Rumble account so you can chat with us. I know,
And there's a lot of people on there chatting right now. We got a whole lot of
I have been not
of stuff.
and I know by the end of the night, when we look at our numbers are a lot higher. So there's a lot of people watching that are not subscribed or signed up
Subscribed
to
yet.
Rumble, but
Yep.
they do show up as views. So let's get you guys on there because we do want to hear your opinion. We want to know your thoughts. And Dot, thanks for that wealth of information. I think we
Yes.
definitely have to have Dot on
Yeah.
the show.
And
Absolutely.
come back and see us. We won't be here
Either
next
that or
week.
Dot is very good at Googling.
Googling
the
stuff.
Quick,
Yeah.
really
I don't
quick.
care even still.
Doesn't matter.
So Dot, we will not be here next week live, but we will be here the week after live.
Yeah, there will be a show next week.
There will be
though.
a show, but we won't
So-
be live. So
Got to figure out how to upload.
Come
that
on
to
over.
Rumble, too. That'll be interesting. So yeah, we'll be in New Mexico, but I don't even think we can babysit it from there because we're going to be busy.
yeah, on Friday, there's no way. We're gonna be ghost touring.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm so excited.
Fun.
That's a whole different.
It's a whole
thing.
nother podcast.
Yeah.
I will give a shout out though. If you guys are interested in any paranormal stuff,
Yes.
tomorrow starts our Parapalooza weekend. So
Mm.
Saturday and Sunday we're doing lots of different guests with different topics. If you're interested in paranormal or ghost, or we even have a horror genre on this time around. So
Ooh,
we're talking about horror
nice.
movies. So it's going to be all weekend. Saturday runs from 11 to 6. Sunday runs from 11 to 6 as well. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
So,
And if you're on Rumble and you see that crazy ghost Wendy on there, she's going to be on here with us
she'll be
tomorrow
on
too,
too.
with Parapalooza.
Thanks, Dot, for the subscription. Thanks for the compliment. And
Yep,
just for you, we'll play our little
because you have the
video there.
bunny.
And then we'll take you guys out with that. And
We'll see y'all later.
We'll see you guys on the next show.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
You go home and cry to your granny. Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, oh, watch out for Keith.